I don't know. There's so many good things to say, I can't list them all, but put your hands together for Brendon, who has a few words for us.
Thank you very much for those kind words. Right now, I'd just like to take the opportunity for us to recognize the president of our association, Brian Sunilal. Could you guys please put your hands together? Because although he makes it look easy, hosting anything or speaking in front of people is not easy at all. And it's just great with the charisma that he has and the entertainment that he provides us. I'm very in awe of what he does. So right now, I'd just like to, sorry, I didn't mean to be rude. Good evening, everyone. My name is Brendon, and I'm one of the business directors of the association. And right now, I'm just going to take some time to try to educate. Well, not really educate, but because you guys have been going through an education tonight as well, learning about what mental health is, but I'd just like to clarify a few points. So basically, what is mental health? So mental health, it involves the way a person feels, thinks, and acts, and relates to other people. A person who is considered mentally healthy or is resilient. They're quickly able to recover from tough moments in life and through difficult times. And they have control over their emotions. They generally have a good sense of well-being and overall good image of themselves. And they're able to build and maintain relationships. So what exactly is a mental illness? So a mental illness or a mental disorder, it's basically a health condition in which a person's normal mood, thinking, or behavior is altered, or it can be a combination of these things. And basically, we don't know the exact causes of this, but studies have shown that there's a biological, psychological, and environmental component. And what this basically means is that there are people who could do nothing in life, and they just develop mental illnesses just because of the way they were born. While others, they could develop mental illnesses based on how they handle life and situations and stress. So, sorry, kind of nervous. So although mental health and mental illness are not the same thing, if a person does not take care of their mental health, it can lead to mental illnesses. And as Councillor Khan spoke earlier before, there is a stigma associated with mental health, and it's basically a sense of shame. So people who do have mental health, they're afraid to talk to other people about it because they're afraid that they're going to be ridiculed or people are going to make fun of them. And our culture has basically developed this stigma because prior to the 1960s, people with mental illnesses, they were shunned or locked up in a mental asylum. And because of this, it just makes it difficult for people to open up to other people because no one wants to be made fun of, and definitely no one wants to be shunned in society. So through a mix of medicine and psychotherapy, our healthcare system developed ways to help people with mental illness. And through this, we were able to recognize the importance of talking to other people because that acts as a therapy, and it gets people to be more open about mental health and gets them to share things with other people. Poor mental health has many causes, but one of the most important causes, which is something we can all relate to, is stress. And if you don't manage your stress properly, it can take you from being a mentally healthy person into someone who develops problems and they don't want to end up talking to other people about it. So to illustrate this point, I'm going to tell you about a point in my life where it was a dark point in my life and I didn't really like to talk to anyone about it, but I feel this is an important night to share this. So when I first started university, when I first graduated high school, I felt that I was on top of the world. I had just got my license, and then I started even growing a few hairs on my face, so I started to feel like a real man or an adult. But then again, I don't know how mature I could be and how much of an adult I can be when I still relied on my parents for everything. So I decided to get a job. Both my parents were against this because they wanted me to focus on school, and they had an understanding that they knew that I might not be mentally strong enough to handle working and going to school at the same time, and all parents want to protect their children. But me being as thick-headed as I am, I didn't listen because I thought I could handle it. So when school started, the professors and TAs didn't hold back. They all assigned readings, labs, and assignments all at the same time because none of these professors coordinate with each other, so it's kind of hard for them to figure out the kind of level of work to give another student. So to keep up, I was barely eating and sleeping. And in hindsight, skipping a few meals should have been the main concern for me that something was going on, because clearly I don't miss a lot of meals. So my grades started to slip and I slowly became depressed. My school offered mental health seminars, but I never went to them because I thought my friends would make fun of me, and I didn't want to seem weak in front of them. I felt ashamed because I was feeling this way, and I refused to talk to anyone about it. I decided just to press on and accept that this had become my life. Work wasn't any better. My manager was an unbearable nightmare. He constantly had mood swings, and he yelled at everyone, including customers. My coworker and I definitely thought this guy had some mental issues, and we even thought that he should be speaking to someone about it or to get professional help. Little did I know that this would be an ironic statement a few months later. Despite all that was going on, I kept telling myself that things weren't that bad, in hopes that I could convince myself that there was nothing wrong with me. I thought that was working until one day I was at work doing a delivery downtown. I got a call from my manager who was enjoying his favorite pastime, which was harassing me for no apparent reason. After every word this guy said, I can feel my blood pressure increasing. And I wanted to tell him something so badly, but I knew my parents raised me better than that, so I didn't say anything at all. So right after I hung up, I'm thinking like, I should quit this job. I need to be studying for exams, they're coming up. I might fail out of school, because the only reason I have this job is to help go to school. And then I start thinking that, man, I actually do need this job. And it was so confusing in that moment that I don't even know what happened. My heart started racing, and I started sweating, and I couldn't make sense of anything that was going on around me. Like, it was like something just took over, and my brain wasn't processing anything. And then I just felt like the color, I could see the color just fading in my eyes. So I quickly pulled over as to not cause an accident or anything like that. And I just sat there because I thought, wait, am I dying? Like, I don't feel any physical pain. And then I just sat there and thinking, like, wait a minute, am I having a mental break? And I never mentioned that to anyone for the longest while. I just felt so ashamed that I'm thinking, I don't have any mental problems or anything like that. But I didn't consider all the stress that I was under and what it was putting me through. So later on, the first person I spoke to about this happened to be my best friend, who I hadn't talked to in years. She was doing a nursing program and had a similar schedule to what I was going through. She started telling me that she's been going through similar things, and she described to me that I was going through a panic attack or an anxiety attack. And as soon as she told that to me, it was like a burden was lifted off my shoulders. Finally, there was someone else that could relate to what I was going through, and I wasn't alone anymore. And this gave me the courage to open up to some of my friends. And those were the same friends that helped found the SPH Association. They told me that they were going through their own situations and struggling with anxiety and depression as well. And by just speaking to them, we were able to basically make our own therapy group. And by doing this, each and every one of us was just able to tell us an experience that someone else was going through and that we were dealing with something similar to them. Finally, we didn't have to be alone anymore. And this became a therapy for us. So this became basically our support group. And it helped me come up with ways to improve my own mental health and manage my own stress and prioritize what was important to me. And I'm proud to say, because of these people that are here, I've never felt depressed or had another panic attack since. Now, before I go, I'd just like to take the opportunity to thank every single person who had anything to do with this first annual gala that we put on today. We know it takes a lot of planning to put an event like this together, and in such a short time that we had, I just want you guys to put your hands together for yourselves and for everyone that helped out. So I would end up naming names, but with my memory, I'd end up forgetting someone, and I don't want anyone to think that we did not appreciate their contribution. But tonight, I do want to specifically thank each and every one of you that are here tonight for you believing in us and for getting something, thinking that we had something of value and that we had something for this community. Because of people like you and your contribution, we can and will make a difference in our communities, and we will end up taking this community by storm and getting people to talk more openly about their mental health. Thank you very much, and have a good night.